store explaining the alkaline and the ozone water. In the ozone water, the oil companies and the chemical companies are the same thing. So, and prescription drug companies are 75% oil. So you find all this stuff that we're consuming that's not natural. And plus, we don't need to be sucking the blood out of the planet. I mean, how rude is that? And it can't really manufacture itself, so it's got to replace it with something else. So we really, humans, need to heal, and then we can heal the planet. And then this right here is a little bit more advanced, and this card actually represents a group clearing, settling down, engaging electromagnetically. So you put this in your home or your office, or you can tuck it in the back if you're dealing with a tough person and you know it. And then there's, and this is just one example. The woman who put this card together was with the team, and for 20 years they had high successful addicts, ADDs, they go into the prison systems, they were just everywhere with mental illness 30 years ago. They were so successful that they got shut down by our government. So the woman and there's just a woman and her sister and a man that was a brilliant scientist person. So they put it together. She was a social worker, and she said talking at somebody and doing talk therapy is just like talking to your tire. You know, how does it feel to be flat? It's like, you do something else, like pump me up. But, so she realized that being a social worker and talk therapy wasn't right. So she got together with this person. $3.5 million later, they tried to hold on to their nonprofit company, and finally they just surrendered. And she had her dog in her bed, and she moved to England. And then she started doing talks in England. Now this is very successful, helping so many people out, and all of a sudden being cut off because some politician decided that this is getting too good. And that's happened to natural healers all over the place. So you're trying to share this information, and you're driven into the ground, but that seems to have us be stronger. Because she went to England, and she's going, in my country, we have to qualify this by saying, go see your doctor, and da-da-da, and they all laugh. They're thinking, you know, and it's just a big joke. So she understands guides and everything, so she ended up being told, come back to the country, and she could be arrested and everything. She's risking herself. Such a criminal, right? And she's just doing small, little,
like this little intimate,
like this.
Yeah, this is the
and
way
then getting the word out.
Yeah.
Now there's cards that you can wear around your neck if you do have anxiety, because what happens in mental illness is it's a compilation of traumas that haven't been processed, stressors that haven't been processed, or that are ongoing. So you wear this, so if you feel anxiety or anything, or triggered, all of a sudden you're having it, all of a sudden you're like mad or something, or feeling the emotion that you don't want to feel, this is another way where you can just put it right on you for 15 minutes, and that erases the trigger. So as you do this more and more, if you have a whole pile of triggers, all of a sudden you have this many, and you are living a normal life instead of this fragmented existence that you can't sleep, and you're angry, blah, blah, blah. You're doing drugs and alcohol to deal with yourself. So that's another way of handling life on the fast lane that we are on. This is called access consciousness. Have you ever heard of this at all? Access consciousness. I'm a practitioner of this. I don't like to use the word practitioner, but I'm someone who has been trained in how to do this. And what you do is electrical massage for both the therapist and the person on the table. And what you do is you hold different points. It's a whole hour. You hold different points on the head for 10 minutes here, 3 minutes here, and you work on things like money, control, health, your body, sexuality, healing. You work on all these different things, that kindness, gratitude, peace, and calm. And if you have any issues around in time and space, if you have any issues around any of this stuff, it blows it out. And it also blows it out if it matches you as a therapist working on somebody. It blows it out of you too. So when you're done working on someone, you're feeling like you just got this great massage too. So it's a wonderful way to be able to share human by human. It's very easy to learn. You just got to know what you're doing, but you can't hurt anybody. And that's the beauty of natural healing. You can't hurt anybody unless you go extreme. If you start going extreme on anything, you're not in the field of balance. We live on a neutrality, a planet that's duality. So you can choose, heavy or light, up or down or in or out. So balancing between the two. So I see, we're on this ball called Earth, it's spinning, and we're standing on it, and we're trying to stay on it. And sometimes we get balance, and we're back on it, and then we're having a fun time on the ball. So really, as we humans, we are unbelievably miraculous, perfect, very powerful, but we've had our plugs pulled, and now they're being put back in. So the powers that think they are, I call them, like President Bush cannot go out of the country because he will be arrested for present time war crimes. He tried to go to Switzerland thinking it's a neutral country. Switzerland said, well, it's a neutral country. We don't know what's going to happen to you when you get off the airplane. Obama's under the same acts, but he's still in the president position, so he can't be touched. But when he moves out of that president position, the same thing is going to happen. There's bankers who are committing suicide right in court. There are families that have been doing diabolical things to people. They're out there partying in their 100-acre mansion places, and they're disappearing. All 23 of them. There are things that we are not aware of because the media that we are looking at, if you're watching TV, it's really not a good strategy. Because they're working us hard through the media because that's the last hold. And what it does is create fear. Now when you're dealing with police officers and stuff, they are actually being vibratorily programmed with all their gear in their cars and what they're wearing on their belts for violence. That's why cops can't stop beating, can't stop shooting, you know. So the camera on a cop is a really good plan. So I don't know how that's coming around, but it's worked tremendously in the communities who have done that. So when you look at it and you think, this is really a rotten deal, how can we, it's too overwhelming. It's not. Because as we each band together with our own talents, and we realize how powerful we are, nothing externally can change our day, unless we want it to. So really, feel good now, love life, and life will love you back, and realize that we're all a family, all of humanity. We're all family. And family's all about connecting. And we can do this. We already are. And if you don't want to do that, then that's your choice. And if you want to do that, you can't wipe the smile off your face. Because you really know that we're in the infinite circle. You know how it comes in tight? When it crosses, that's where we're at right now. And we're going to expand like crazy. Our DNA is being changed, and that loops around. And so the whole thing, and it's being changed because of our environment. It has been changed to abnormal for thousands of years, and we get to live in a time where it's being changed to expanding instead of contracting. So it's a time to celebrate, especially if you hear bad news. It's not about going fearful and, oh, I got to lock my doors and blah, blah, blah. It's about really understanding that if you keep your vibration high and your frequency where you want it, that can be a solution to all of it, because then the low self-esteem, I mean, we're born sinners, that's what some people say, but if you're starting from that platform, you're going to have low self-esteem. You're not going to want to take care of yourself. And I think that's one of the biggest things that disempower people, that they've been beat down so much that they really believe it. So you tell someone something long enough, especially when they're little bitty, they're going to believe it, and then they're going to become bullies, and then that bully vibration is what's creating our whole reality. The material reality is a small portion. We're discovering the other realities that has been hidden from us too. And that even plugs us into a whole nother. So the first space that we can deal with is free energy. Support free energy. Support natural healers. Support what you want it to look like. Think about what you want it to look like instead of being programmed to think what you don't want it to look like. Because most of us with worry and concern is creating doing negative affirmations, and that's sort of where we're tucked into. So if you find yourself projecting on yourself, well, I can't pay my rent, that's what you're going to pull in. So if you project on yourself, well, this is what I want. For me, I want to impact 55 million people and create $55 million to be able to take that $55 million in seed money, anybody who's trying to help the people and help the planet. So $55 million, geez, I'm a low-income person here. But it doesn't matter, because I believe that. I set my mind to it, and I set Australia for 2003 to go there.